Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the start of this APICO stream, as you can probably tell by the title of it. So, yeah, this is going to be the start of the stream, obviously. Gonna take the audio levels down for the game, because they do seem to be pretty loud, level-wise. But yeah, this is as I've said already, with the description and also the announcements I had on Discord. I got this game from the publisher, which would be Whitethorn Digital. So, yeah, I'm gonna crank the game volume up a bit more, just because I shot it all the way back down again. So, yeah, this should be alright in terms of making this, pretty solid audio-wise. If we encounter any issues, feel free to comment them. So I had to not stream to Twitch for whatever reason, because it was not connecting to the server or whichever. So that sucks, but what you gonna do, So gonna start actually with the game in about a minute. But I thought this overlay was a natural fit, obviously, for a game about beekeeping. I believe that would be like apicology or something like that. Apiculture. I wouldn't know. Apiculture. Huh. You learn something new every day. Etc. etc. So, yeah, save the bees, What did bees ever do to us, Other than, provide our necessary ecosystem. That's amazing. I shall call myself Bob the Beal. No. Builder. No, it's one of Bob to Builder. There we go. And there we go. I don't really need hair, but oh, yeah, it's a bee. Set sail. Let's go. I got a damn beehive on my head. What you gonna do about that, So, yeah. In terms of, recent updates, I'll get to that after I read off this story, this story stuff here. So, dear Bob to Builder, it was so lovely to get your letter last week. I think it's wonderful that you're taking an interest in beekeeping again. Both me and Gramps had always hoped you'd want to carry on the keeper family tradition, and there isn't anything more enjoyable than being out here with the bees. Plus, I'll say it'll be a well-earned break from that busy city job of yours. I've posted you a ticket for the next boat that comes in. Skipper will be overjoyed to see you again after all these years. Have a safe journey, and I'll see you soon. Love, Nana. Ho ho! We made it, Bob T. Builder. And just as ya were getting ya sea legs, ho ho! Here we go, Port APICO, and what a lovely day it is. I also think the audio levels may actually be a bit much on my end, at least. I will tweak that so I can actually hear myself talk. So, here we are at Port APICO, and what a lovely day it is. I already said that, but it was jolly good to have ya aboard again. Takes me back. Do you still remember your way around the place? Arg. Oh ho. No problem. Here, have my map. I know this place like the back of my boat. Well, it always helps to have a map. Anyway, you best go see the old girl. She's still at the end of the pier, down to the left. She's been a buzzin' ever since you led her. If you need anything, just holler. I've got a few trinkets you might find useful. Now off you go. Luck of the High Mother be with ya. And remember, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Ho ho. I actually like the idea of doing a Mickey Mouse voice with him instead next time. That would be funny. Oh, Bob the Builder. It's so wonderful to see you. Let me get a good look at you. Have you been eating properly? Who's been feeding you? Have you had breakfast? Shall I put the kettle on? How is the boat over? Do you feel sick or... Sorry, there's me getting away. It's just so good to see you again. I was so excited when I got your letter. When you said you wanted to get into beekeeping, I was so pleased. It's been a while since we've had a keeper in the family. Your father never cared much for it. I was looking through Grandpa's old things and found the guidebook he was writing. There seems to be quite a lot missing, so maybe you can fill in the rest. It would mean a lot to us both. You can view the guide at any time with G. If you ever get stuck, just have a look through, and I'm sure some of Grandpa's wisdom will guide the way. Well, anyway, look at me. I toppled the ear off a bee. You can't do that, silly. Bees' ears are some of the strongest in the world. They'll sooner kill you with it. I better let you get settled. You probably want to go and explore the island. If you need anything, I'll be right back at the house. Be safe. We must all speak in bee puns for the rest of our lives. Now, minor thing here, but this, you can kind of see, it looks like the crate. I was wondering what this was. I thought it was like a vent somehow. Initially, when we were walking past it, but no, that's a crate, and you're kind of able to walk underneath it a little bit. Now, granted, this is not a huge deal, obviously. It's just kind of something I noticed with the walk animation for the cutscene, but yeah, I don't think that's a big deal, obviously, but still. Welcome to APICO, a game about discovering and breeding bees. This book will serve as your guide throughout the game. If you get stuck, lost, stung by bees, this book is here to help. You can open and close this book at any time by pressing G or clicking the icon in the bottom middle corner. You can close any books and all menus in the game by pressing the escape key. As you progress, you'll unlock new chapters, each with their own challenges and rewards. As this is your first chapter, have a freebie. Keep her safe. Her name is Beatrice. Everything has to be a bee pun. And it's so easy. Okay, that... Where there's smoke, there's fire. How... you know... Okay, that seems to be a more prevalent issue than just that one sprite, I guess, then. Because why are you able to walk under some of these other sprites? Again, it's not a big deal, obviously. But it's just kind of one of those things that when you notice it, it's like, huh? In APICO, you can move up. Yeah, I know, Wasta. Punch some trees, pick some flowers, go hog wild. Here's an axe. Now, I know that today we've already had one gameplay video with Bear and Breakfast. A first look I did. Which I know no one has actually watched yet because it's only got views from myself. But, you know, so I know that, you know, we've had a bit of life sim action today in terms of the more lengthy videos. But I did want to point out that the Project Dagger one I had alluded to during the last stream, the first look for that, I had accidentally deleted the file for it. So, and it was as I was uploading it too. So, that was just foolish. And I went all the way to, like, completely obliterating it, because I had thought I'd finished uploading. It did not finish uploading. So, yeah, I already did that. Okay. As you start the deforestation. So basically, save the bees by killing the trees, I guess. So grab that workbench we just gave you and plonk it down somewhere. Okay. Anyways, that's actually the second first look I had to, or that I did re-record. The first of those, but then it was whatchamacallit, Bear and Breakfast, because I had made the mistake of buying up the whole shop in my first playthrough, and I didn't realize that you can go back and get your money back by going to your mother. So that was foolish. Entirely my fault. However, I take zero responsibility for it. Because I'm a grown adult, and that's not what you do. Now, let's see here. Yay, I get another axe. Oh! What the fuck? Why did the game just close? I couldn't really tell you. Also, missed opportunity for a B pun with this overlay. Why is it not? I will be back. Tomfoolery. Okay, gonna have to reopen Steam and all that jazz and get that. Now, granted, I did have the new Project Dagger video. I did have that posted. Um, so that should all be good to go. Now, okay, the game's back. What happened? I'm gonna have to redo everything. That's cool. I don't know what happened there. Don't know if that was the game or what, but kinda not cool. Okay, the game capture is not liking APICO. I guess that may have been the issue. Okay, there we go. It's finally back. Cool. Bob to Builder. So we'll definitely make it go faster this time. Cause who the fuck wants to watch the same thing over again? And have me like taking my sweet time with it. Obviously, that's not very fun. Uh Again, I don't know if this is a problem with Streamlabs where it just fucking closed the game or something somehow, or if it's just Apico. Yeah, again, I don't know why they put that crate there. You know, if you're going to have the crate there, or if you're gonna have it to where you can kind of walk underneath some of the pixels that you really shouldn't be able to, you know, I think that really you should be not putting it in the opening cutscene. Now, again, do want to stress, it's not that big a deal. And so far, this game otherwise seems to be pretty rad. It's just, you know, again, that's like a bad first impression. And first impressions, you know, are very important. Also, why does the audio sound... Okay, the audio was far higher than it need to be. So, see here. Anyways, I knew it sounded higher than it was supposed to be. Anyways, now you know me as a life sim gamer, I guess. Because I'm doing basically the same thing I did in Bear and Breakfast. I'm just tearing through stuff the moment I get a sharp weapon. Yeah, fuck you, trees. You're not as important to me as a bee. You bastards. Alright, but anyways, goofy bullshit aside, let's see about... Okay, and But yeah, it's definitely important to have very good first impressions with a game. Even something as silly as that, it can make people look at the game and then say, okay, did you like look at that, But again, I don't want to ride on them too hard or anything, because again, it's not that big a deal. Um, how do you get rid of stuff besides just clicking? Anyways, let's see here. Crafting. We're almost back to where we were before. Menu magic. Okay, and I got an achievement. Okay. And turn on photo mode. Anyways, what was I gonna say before? And I'm not talking chess, because we're not streaming Shotgun King for at least a couple of weeks. I'm basically just destroying this entire ecosystem. I even got an achievement for it, so they're rewarding me for my bad behavior. This is your fault, engineers, developers of APICO. I'm now going to destroy the entire planet. You could have stopped me, but you actually started me. Sorry if I occasionally get a little quiet. I'm looking at the stream to see if any hooligans and charlatans have, moseyed onto my turf. Yeah, but how do you build that? Sticks. Sticks and wood planks. Those are logs. Something that is not a stick, apparently. Now, let's see here. So, carpentry. Okay. So that's how we do that. Ah, I see. I thought this was a Minecraft situation. There we go. I was like, why is this not sticking there? Anyways, time to destroy this entire ecosystem and, basically just ruin everything. Alright, here we go. Then, okay. So, in terms of sticks, okay, that's a mod workbench. So I can't do anything with that because I don't have any dang mods. Okay. Ugh. So, um, yay, honey. There we go. So I can make a wooden frame, which does not seem to be a good idea. Bee produce. Rehabilitator. That sounds like that would be pretty useful. Let's go there and kiss there. Maybe I should be reading the info. Okay. Drag it left and right. You can also cut the planks into sticks. Ah, that was what I was missing there. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, and there we go. And Alright. Yeah, this is a really good commentary, by the way. Yeah, alright. Just that whole bunch. I will try to make it a bit more stimulating. But obviously, no one is chatting yet. Totally fine, by the way. Obviously, not everyone needs to have the same schedule I do or anything like that, of course. So, that being said, it still means I don't really have much to bounce off of currently, other than anecdotal type stuff. So, in terms of anecdotal type stuff, uh, shit. That's a problem with talking all the time. Eventually, you just get real fucking tired, like regardless of what you're doing. But I digress. So in terms of shit I've been doing as of late, I have been listening to a lot of the new Witchery album. Nightside is the name of it. Really good thrash album. Just really, really good. You know, it's no muss, no fuss. Just pretty excellent all around. So, I shall take your bees and amass them in my own army. Anyways, just really good thrash album. It is a blessed bee. Sweet. We'll also say that the movement is a little sluggish. Oof, I just got around to checking Discord. I was out biking. Nice. And welcome to the stream, Evan. So far, the game has, it's definitely charming so far, which is what you want in a life sim, ultimately, is to be charmed. It's got a nice sense of humor to it from what I've seen, and it's pretty... It seems to have a good head on its shoulders. There's a bit of nominal jank to it that I will... show thusly. How is the gameplay so far? See, that's the thing with a life sim like this. Sometimes it takes a bit for it to kind of grow on you, and so far, I'm definitely liking the grooves of it so far. I guess you could say. Also, for whatever reason, when the the game shut down earlier, for whatever reason that was as well, it took down the chat box. So it looks like there we go. Yep, there we are. I had that in Streamlabs and then it just, for whatever reason, disappeared. Anyways, this is the thing I'm talking about, by the way, with in terms of like the pixel art. You can kind of essentially be overlapped by these crates in a way that doesn't really make much logical sense. Which, granted, it's not the biggest deal in the world, obviously. I don't know how easy of a fix it would be, but, like, this is just kind of weird. Um, in terms of general critiques, I will always say that, text limits for names in particular can be a bit annoying, especially if you're trying to make a particularly creative or lengthy name. I named myself Bob the Builder because look at me. Am I not Bob the Builder? My axe broke. In terms of other critiques, I would say the movement just feels kind of sluggish. I'm not sure if that's communicated visually. Very well, that much. It just feels kind of like you're barely moving, and this may very well be just on my end, where it kind of has that tactile feel of it being kind of like molasses, but not sure. That being said, I do like so far the Pixar in general. I'm just kind of a stickler for Pixar, especially when it has like the white outlines with the black outlines and then the white outlines. Um, that's just really classy stuff as far as I'm concerned. Now, in terms of this sort of thing, you know, when it comes to mini games, I like them to have a bit more of a clean kind of feel, I guess. Spiritfarer, I think, is a very good, comparison point. Not necessarily as a comparison directly, but you know, not directly compared to this. Obviously, this is more kind of got a Minecraft-ish sort of vibe to it, but just in terms of you got the hot bar, you're kind of punching trees, stuff like that. It's definitely got that Minecraft quality to it, which is not a bad thing, mind you. I really like Minecraft. Who the fuck doesn't? Um, especially now that you don't even have to worry about fucking Notch being a punk ass. But in terms of the general gameplay, though, how good is it? I think a lot of it is just kind of stuff you have to get into, over time. You know, as you're spending more time with the characters and everything and settling into a groove. I would say there are some life sims that have caught me quicker. I would say Grow Song of the Evertree last year, definitely a good example. Arguably, Let's Build a Zoo, but that's more of a Zoo Tycoon style game for obvious reasons. Am I enjoying myself so far? Kind of in a more cerebral sense. This could very well be a good podcast e-game. And when it comes to podcast types of games, a lot of the times I do check out of them a bit just because I've already, when when it comes to like doing stuff more lackadaisically, at least nowadays, I prefer a bit more energy to it. Not necessarily in terms of I need things to not be Zen-like, of course, because I just praised Spiritfarer and Gro's Song of the Evertree, but more in terms of I feel like, you know, I generally don't like games, or not dislike them, but I generally would prefer, I suppose, to go for ones that have a more, that draw me in a bit more. Oh yeah, for sure. Minecraft is a game that I have not played in a few years at this point, but in terms of games that I have enjoyed, it's definitely up there for sure. And again, I don't like this. Like this slight little bit where it's like this nudge thing, like this nub here is basically covering the whole arrow, but it's not far enough that you can just drag it back. It's got to be all the way there. And that, it's kind of like the comparable to Coyote Time, I guess, in a platformer. You do not want to have it feeling like it has to be overly precise. Otherwise, people kind of check out of it because they're like, that doesn't feel tactile. It feels like I should have gotten that already. So I do think there are definitely rooms for improvement already. Sorry, there is definitely room for improvements here, definitely, just at a glance. That being said, I don't want to judge too harshly based off of first impressions, because again, above any other genre, life sims are kind of much more focused on that long term, just kind of chilling, getting into the groove of things, doing the monotonous sorts of jobs, that kind of thing, and just kind of growing accustomed to the world and whatnot. So I think, and it's definitely, you can definitely see the Minecraft influence here just by the sprites of the axe in particular. That's very Minecraft. Now that's not a bad thing. Minecraft is a survival game. This is a life sim. You can have both, but nevertheless, and again, it just this little mini game here is so basic. I would much prefer something where it was more timing based, even if that was something that would perhaps be less accessible for some people, myself included, of course. I have very underdeveloped reflexes, but I would much prefer something like in Spiritfarer with like the weaving, right, where it's like you just click a button when it hits the right part of the line. That's something I would generally prefer. Um, so at this point, I was kind of hoping this would be more of a chill, sit back and relax and just chit chat kind of game, but right off the bat, I'm kind of having some constructive, I hope, critiques that I think there could be improvements for. That, it's not as fun a streaming experience, I guess, because it's just kind of like I can't focus as much on just playing the game and chit chatting. I have to focus on, okay, now here's what I think could be improved with this, and then give formulated critiques. Because I do very much respect this game. I really respect its message. I dig the pixel art, except for that little this little bugbear with this stuff. Right now, I know it's the little things. It's always the little things. Like with that Bear and Breakfast game that I have been playing a bit of. Uh, you know, and I mentioned that before, considering it's another recent life sim, so I think it's a fair comparison point. Not necessarily as these games are the same or this versus this, but more in terms of here's what I think could be improved with either of them. Where can you learn from one? Where can you learn from the other? That kind of thing. And with Bear and Breakfast, it's you're constantly getting stuck on the scenery. With this game, you are not getting caught on the scenery. Okay, actually you are, but not nearly as much, and it feels much more fair, I guess, because it is much more clear where things are, even at night. Like right now, it's dark. If you watch my first look at Bear and Breakfast, whenever it goes dark in that game, I cannot move. I will run into something every 2 seconds, and even when it is bright, I will still run into stuff every 2 seconds because it feels like everything is too constrained and that you can't walk over stuff, right? This game doesn't have that problem, but it does have the problem of the you know you are basically trying to get these mini games done, and they just feel like kind of tedious. And also another thing that makes this a game that I sort of regret streaming now. And again, I want to give this game its chance. I want to give it its fair due. I want to, talk about it. So it's not that I think it's a bad game at all. Uh, I, but I can't really say that it's necessarily a good game yet either. Just because, again, I feel like I need to give it time to grow on me, or to give it a chance to, right? Because that's when the going gets good with a game like this. But the thing that makes it something that I regret streaming now, partway into it, is just the fact that the game is so very much focused on, it seems, kind of throwing a lot at you at once. And yeah, I just punched that tree to death. Call me Steve, because I don't know what my punchline was supposed to be. But okay, so I need to get a pickaxe first, so that I can start actually mining that stuff. But yeah, this is where like the actual first negative impressions come, is this. It's this little bit here. And maybe that's not as noticeable while watching, but does it not look like I should be finishing that when I get to, does it not look like I should be finishing that mini game sooner than I actually am? Is my point. And I don't think I am. I feel like it should be a bit more, a bit less, I guess, a bit less like, oh, you have to get this like this, Um, Okay, and now the sound effects, not so sure about with the pickaxe. And I really do not want to be coming across as like ripping the game apart or anything like that. I I I hate doing that sort of stuff, especially when it's a game that I actually have respect for. Um, Even a modicum of respect because I know that the developers for this game worked on it for years. I was kind of watching from afar for some of the development of it, um, which is now kind of lost to time the evidence of that. But I was one of the first people who, or not one of the first people, but we had covered it on the curator before Whitethorn had picked it up to publish it. You know, basically as soon as it was added to Steam, right? Look up Crank. I've seen better mini. Yeah, I mean, it's not that the mini game is bad. That's or a bad idea. It being a basic one can work. Also, I like the music so far, so I do want to give it its flowers. This is nice music, but it's just this bit here, like right there. This this arrow is completely full. It's not done yet though. It's that little bit here. Like it's that last sliver of polish where this game I think kind of stumbles at so far. I feel like that should be a bit more rewarding to do. And you can't really kind of. And this is the thing. I don't see how you can kind of get into a rhythm of it unless you force yourself to get into the rhythm of it, right? At which point, yeah, of course you can. Anyone can force themselves to you know, get into that. That's not really a good argument for a design decision. So it's. I'm also going to look up the crank thing you were mentioning because crank and I guess idle game. It's an incremental game, crank. Where even is it though? Is it a mobile game on Steam or something? It's on feedine.com. Maybe? I can't really tell because the mobile version of the website is kind of bad. It seems, again, just at a glance, I don't want to rag on someone who probably worked on that for a bit because I know how making a website is. So at this point, I kind of want to play this game less as a stream at least. Um, and I am getting caught on some of the scenery now. So perhaps I was a little um, I was a little I don't want to say prejudiced because that makes it sound bad. Um, no, I was judging it a little too soon, I guess, on the lack of kind of You know, basically, again, making that, like, last bit of polish kind of feel. Like, I don't want to be playing a game like this where I'm continuously getting stuck on the scenery. At least not for very long, because that gets tedious over time. Now that I've gotten the better axe, I like chopping the trees down, but that's also just kind of one of those menial tasks that life sims are supposed to be good with, right? So I just don't know so far. I may just chill, sit back, and chat for a bit. Predisposition. Uh, no, I think it's more just kind of like judging a bit too soon, I guess. Kind of like half cocked, I guess. Um, so here are my things I think I would say right off the bat. First of all, movement. Movement feels too sluggish, right? I don't know if this is just a me thing or if it just looks, or if you can see it in motion, but this feels languid. Probably the best word for it. Secondarily, and I keep going back to it, but it's the little things. I think it's the little things where this game kind of fumbles the ball a bit. And I hate to say that, but again, it's it's this. It is. I have this all the way to where it is covering this end of the arrow. This arrow at the bottom is completely full. I have not gotten the stick yet because a tiny bit that you can't even see. 2 more pixels away. Those last 2 pixels, I wiped them out. Gone. Finito. You do not have to hit those last 2 pixels to get those to finish that arrow. Is my first, you know, like, this is should hopefully be an easy fix. I know a lot of the times you have like fucking armchair developers being like, it's super easy to fix this stuff. No, it isn't. But that seems like something that should not be a difficult thing to tweak and make a just to hit that like sweet spot of satisfaction of feeling like you're doing something, um, over time. Um, that that's something you're going to be doing a lot. And again, you can get used to it eventually, but you're forcing yourself to get used to it. That's not an argument in the game's favor, right? Um, then my next thing is maybe just making it a little bit less like you're, getting stuck on terrain sometimes. Fourth thing, and again, this is something where I'm going to get a little armchair developer, but why can I see my lower body beneath the crate here? You know, this makes it look like it is a vent above me in an, like an isometric sense, right? It is not. It is a crate, and that is jarring. Easiest fix in the world. Move this crate away from there. Move it here. You don't even have a crate on this side of the port, so that makes it a bit more visually interesting. Okay. That way, you know, if this doesn't get fixed right away itself, like this thing here, this problem, at least you're not having it in your introductory cutscene. Bad first impression. It's a minor bad first impression, but regardless. Then I would say again, just kind of the movement feels a bit discombobulated. Most of the people who say it's super easy have never tried to make something like that. I bet most have never even tried to make a website. Yeah, I have. It is a pain in the ass. Um, Trust me, making a website can be the most infuriating thing sometimes. When it all comes together, feels great, but when it doesn't, it's like when you're getting to that point, it is infuriating. And I imagine similar thing with game development. So I'm pretty sure everything that I'm saying right now, the developers already know. Um, and that's not like a conspiratorial thing where it's like, they just gave us something they knew was shit. First of all, I don't think the game's shit. Secondarily, um, uh, you know, it's just a lot of the times you kind of have to get it out there eventually. So I understand if they don't necessarily have the time or anything to tweak on it, because you don't want like your art to consume you, right? So I get it. You eventually have to just let it go and send it out into the world, right? But if you have the time to go back and change things, these are some of the things I would change. Uh, uh, Again, that's being a bit egotistical, assuming that the developers are even watching my stream, which they, in all likelihood, are not. Um, and by in all likelihood, I mean there are currently 3 viewers, so possibly one of them is. Possibly. Probably not. That's probably one of the people from the Discord server, or or a bot. So, you know, again, if any developers of this game were to be watching, please don't take it too harshly. Um, I'm not having that much fun with it, at least so far. And in a stream context like this, where I was kind of expecting something a bit more chill, relaxed, and that I would not be as focused on critiquing, like live. Um, I would give it a bit more. Uh, what's the word for it? I guess a bit more leeway. I guess, but because I'm in this context, I'm a bit more critical than I otherwise may be. Because right now I'm already in that kind of mood where it's like I don't necessarily want to be, criticizing a game live on the spot. Usually I like to, if I'm going to criticize something, I usually like to have my thoughts a bit more measured with it and to take my time to think over things. So that when I say something, I know, hey, this is what I actually feel, instead of just running in half cocked. Now, as of right now, I would honestly stop the stream and go back to doing a different game. Um, Again, but that makes it seem like it's a bad game, which let me look at the Steam reviews on it because last I saw they were very positive. So a lot of people are gelling with it more than I am, which is not for nothing. Perhaps this is just me having like some things that kind of those little slight things that just kind of you know get in the way of, falling head over heels for a game. It has 93% positive reviews on Steam. So lots of people are enjoying this game. The vast majority are. Um, it may just be me. Who knows? Um, so please, if any developers were watching, and again, I'm not trying to be egotistical enough to assume that they are. Um, I would honestly not take it too harshly if it comes off that way. Yeah, it does have a bit of wind up time because it kind of throws a lot of stuff at you right off the bat. Um, even just in the information booklet, it's just kind of walls of text. Um, that's a lot to chew through. So, you know, I honestly don't like to come across as being harsh, but at this point, I would honestly prefer to hop over to a different game, and I may very well do that if, uh, honestly, Evan, do you have any, thoughts as to that? Would you prefer to see a bit more of it to see about that wind up time, or maybe it would just be a bit more rewarding to kind of hop over to something a bit more positive? Takes quote out of context. There's a bit of a delay, so I don't know which quote you were joking about taking out of context. I apologize. For I cannot. I I do not have it hitting right away what you're referring to. But um yeah, this is definitely a game where I want to like it more. Variety is the spice of life. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I may just consider hopping over to a different game just because I'd honestly rather be talking about, you know, just kind of chilling back and, you know, enjoying the game. So the problem though is that I've stuck this as being APICO stream, and I honestly do not want to have that buried or a different game buried in. And I like the thumbnail I made for it, so I don't know if I really want to hop over to a different game right now. I just don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, I just don't really know what to really do at this point. Because how long have I even been going at it for? About an hour, it seems, potentially. Yeah, an hour. So I guess there's a bit to chew on for the game. Should I stay or should I go? Yes. Um, I think uh, it just kind of it's a bit of a come down for sure. Because I was kind of hoping that I would be just chilling and talking about how about other stuff and having the game kind of speak for itself. But um, okay, I think I may have another idea. and this may be superior to jumping over to a different game. Um, it actually is an idea I've had for a fair while, but haven't really thought of how best to essentially do it, actually have it done. So, I'm thinking of Steam just keeps closing though when I leave it for whatever reason. But let me just check here if yeah, for some reason Steam just keeps closing, and that's a bit annoying because that's actually what I was planning on doing. I kind of wanted to just have something to chill and talk about, so I figured I would finally do something I've been wanting to for a while, which is basically just showing how I've kind of customized and tweaked my Steam library because I think that would be kind of cool to show off. Because I really like the customizability of Steam and its library in particular. That's one of the things that I prefer for it as opposed to the Attic Game Store. Just because you can't, you know, modify your library or anything like that with the EGS. Okay, let me. Okay. So what I can do here is I can do a window capture of Steam. Basically stick that here. And then I can have the game running on in the background so that the music gets to shine. I guess that's pretty alright. And this way I don't have to go and grab like a Steam Labs soundtrack. Why is this blank though? Why is the screen black? Because it's not black on my end. That's irritating. Okay. Let's see. How do I actually get this to... Okay, there we go. I just had to hit the Windows 10 button. Nice. I have 7 different collections, each with... Oh, and APICO crashed again. Well then, guess I will have to actually go and grab the Steam Labs tat. Um, bear with me while I do this. So, going to grab top plate stations. Where is the chip tunes? Stations. I would definitely like to do drum and bass, but nah, let's do chickens. That's the most fitting here. Okay, there we go. So this is, by Big Giant Circles, Fight the Current is the name of it. So, yeah. Okay, so here's what I have currently. These are all the... Mostly it is... At least these ones here are from the itch.io bundles. Gonna crank the volume down a bit. So this is also, just to be clear, this is all the stuff on Steam, not including necessarily ones from itch.io or Epic, though some of the ones from the others I've added as non-Steam games, like this. I don't actually own this on Steam, because the development studio of it is kinda tinky, as far as I'm aware. But I got it for like $5 on Epic, so I was like, whatever. This song's pretty cool. I'm also gonna close this because that is like an endless maw. So, yeah, I have pre-ordered this one, got this one on Kickstarter, gifted by Dev, obviously. That is a demo. And it looks hideous because it does not have an asset for some reason. Which is something I will actually change on the fly, because that takes like 2 seconds. Yeah, I've been building up my Steam library for like 7 years at this point, so... and obviously a lot of the stuff comes from like bundles, developers sending me the games, that kind of thing. But there we go. I tried adding Minecraft to Steam as a non-Steam game. I have too, but I didn't actually use it from there. And obviously adding stuff as non-Steam games a lot of the times causes issues, because Steam isn't really designed as such for that. But yeah, in terms of recent releases and whatnot, you got Alchemia, Bear and Breakfast, Blood and Zombies, which just came out for early access, Hellpie, Project Dagger, which I have a video of coming soon. Yeah. Sometimes the non-Steam game stuff will just break it. Absolutely. Obviously Stray, Endling, X Zodiac, these are some of the cool new ones. The developer sent me the demo for this game, and they seem really nice, the developers for this game, so it's not out yet. At least the full version isn't. So Yeah, honestly, I'm very happy with my Steam library currently. You know, it's just very nice to look at. Except for shit like this, like, new update, Ground Zero. Like, please, let me just have one of that game. Like, the game title, and then the art. I don't need to know what update it is, I'm not playing the game anytime soon. And there being an update is not going to change that, necessarily. I do actually want to restart Steam, though, just because this does not include any of my tweaks I've done with the Steam Edit app, which is part of the customizability I was referring to. So I'm actually going to do that, because some of these games, just as a thing for developers, at least me speaking personally, don't take this necessarily to heart, except as, just my dumb ramblings. First of all, I don't like it when "and" is capitalized if it's not the first letter of the title. If a game has an ampersand in it, put the ampersand in the actual title of the game instead of just on the grid of it. And then there's one I saw here that was especially... Also, why is this music at, like... It's not... Okay, there it is. That's not even chiptunes. This song is called Human Diplomacy by Chipzel. But I did want to get to one of these other ones here that I didn't like how it was on here. Oh yeah, it was up here. Oh, okay, this is actually how I had it. But this game on Steam is called Alfred Hitchcock Dash Vertigo, which is like heinous. Just call it Vertigo or call it Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. You know? And again, it's not that big a deal, but it's just one of those things that kind of bugs me. So, I'm relaunching Steam. Oh yes, it is completely nitpicking. But it's my stream, and I'll nitpick if I want to. Also, I have OCD, so... It does actually bother me. So... Obviously, you can see I tweaked that. Aaron's breakfast, I did not actually tweak. I am ashamed of myself. I was just talking about, oh, it's gotta have an ampersand in there. And I didn't even have it on there. It's having the ampersand. Nor did I have blood and zombies fixed, at least not on this computer. Because unfortunately, you cannot actually save this stuff as like a macro. So I'm gonna restart Steam again. This one's pretty nice. It's by Abstraction, and it's called Real Dog, is the song. Be gone, anime. Okay. Now you can see I have that fixed. I have corrected the blighted titles. Also, this game, if you didn't notice before, had a space after depot, which is just hideous. Space, colon. Just kill me if you're gonna go that far. God damn. But yeah, I like tweaking this stuff until it's actually, you know, real nice and shit. This is my, as you can tell, best on Steam bunch of stuff. Okay, when will after parties load in? There we go. I like having the weapon ones where it's an animated grid. That's definitely much more stylish to me. Baba's you. So yeah, there may be some games here that could potentially be contentious for some folks. That they are included here. Such as, you know, this game, Behind the Frame. That game got torn apart. That's a joke for those unaware. I was being facetious there. I was actually referring to Book of Demons. Now, this is another one of those games where it did not have a grid, so I had to make all of the assets, or at least edit all of the assets, so that it actually doesn't look horrible. And by look horrible, I mean in the library. And I'll show you what I mean by that. This is what I mean. Look at this. This is heinous. So this game, though, I think actually does have a fan one available on, and this is why I always keep... What even? This is why I always keep Steam Grid DB bookmarked. It is a godsend. Also, this song is pretty rad. It is by Pop Sky and Tiasu. That's pretty typical. Tiasu is a fucking amazing chiptune musician, so... You see what I mean, though? This looks far better than what it was before. But some games, alas, do not have fan uploaded assets to Steam Grid. Okay, and see, this is just much better already. Like, look at that. Fucking amazing looking in a grid. And some of the stuff I've just customized, like this V Rising one. Sort by Metacritic score. I shan't be so heinous. The only noteworthy aggregate is me. Truck Racer. Why would you name your game Truck Racer? But I digress. But yeah, I will actually sort by Metacritic score just so I can scroll all the way to the bottom and then see what ridiculous... Like, why the fuck is this game at the bottom here? And it's probably just gonna all be games that no one had actually fucking played. So they just got booted to the bottom by, you know, the fact that they don't have any actual reviews on Metacritic. And that's probably gonna be all the bottom ones. Alright, there we go. It's just looking better and better as you actually add in the stuff. And also Boop, which is the which is what Steam Grid has available as like a an app where it basically means you don't have to download individually all of the grids. That is something that I fucking love. So basically I'm just doing this all on Firefox. Also, new song is Chip Seal by Big Giant Circles. But yeah, let's check into the Metacritic thing. Sort by release date. 97. I accidentally actually went all the way to the bottom, so it's exactly what I said. Mine is not going to stop at 70. As you can see, a bunch of these are completely unscored. And if you go all the way down, some of these are fucking ridiculous. But some of them are completely deserved. So you have like Takedown, Red Saber, completely expected. Everreach, Project Eden. This game is not very good. Why the fuck is Verity on there? That's just a free game. Devil's Hunt is busted. And then if you go up, yeah. Technomancer. Postal, not surprising. Postal 2, again, not surprising that it would be down. Though, more surprising is that it's not even further. Desert Child does not deserve to be at a 60. That's fucking ridiculous. That game is, like, rad as fuck. Evoland is fucking good as well. That is absurd. Dex, I do not think is. I think Dex is pretty alright. Dirty Bomb was great. I loved Dirty Bomb. Party Hard deserves to be lower. Party Hard is not very good. It's actually broken and pretty bad, I would argue. Two Worlds, I'm surprised is up that high. But I'm even more surprised that it has such a hideous fucking grid on my library. Be gone, Satan. This is final credits by Chip Cell, by the way. Pirate Pop Plus is good. That doesn't deserve to be down here. Damsel is pretty fun. Or Damsel, I should say. That's pretty fun. Yeah, I honestly, I do not like how Metacritic has, 66 for Biomutant. For shame. DuckTales Remastered, also, why is that down here? Say no more! The fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck would give that, a score below a 7? And even that's stretching it. That game is fun as fuck. Yeah, this is just kind of perverted, to be honest. I would agree with this if it were two more pips up. Game Dev Tycoon is 7 out of 10 in game form. What the fuck is Warframe doing down here? Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry, I don't like beautiful games with incredible combat. Jeez. What the fuck is Eichenfeld? Jesus Christ. Etherborn? Goddamn. That's just, fucking perverse. Fox and Forests is also really good. Doesn't deserve it. Also, what is the music doing? Hello? Then you go up here, completely deserved at 70. That's basically also 7 out of 10 in game form. Maneater deserves to be higher. Darksiders 3, very fun, deserves to be higher. Boyfriend Dungeon, same thing. Andorra deserves higher. Through the Darkest Times, deserves better. Snake Pass, fucking Pumpkin Jack. Why the fuck would you put Pumpkin Jack down? Goddamn. This is my thing with some critics, where they will just fucking be like, "Oh, it's not my liking. 4 out of 10." Okay. Some dude put years. This is a single this is a solo developed game, and this is one of those games that basically just feels like it came straight out of the PlayStation 2 era. It fucking roles. It's just so creative and fun and full of life. Absurd. This also looks fucking hideous. Why the fuck? We don't need your PEGI rating. We don't need to know that it's PC, Mac, DVD-ROM. We don't need to know that it's an NES experience. We don't need to know the publisher and developer down here. Well, that's on the boundary. Felix the Reaper deserves better. Turnip Boy deserves better. Like, some of these are just ridiculous. Mother Gunship, it's better than the 7 out of 10. Whoever dragged the ratings down for these games, I will facepalm you. This has been enlightening. In a good way, I hope. Why the fuck is it down here? Why the fuck is Chasm? Well, Chasm was kind of busted at release, I guess. But Chasm right now is actually fucking really good. Just really satisfying action platforming. Monster Prom? Who the hell? Who the hell gave this like a 6 out of 10? For shame. Have you no honor? Also, what the fuck is going on with the music? It kinda just cuts out sometimes on my end, at least. Not sure if it's doing that. I'm not sure if that's doing it on, y'all's end. Haven, I really need to actually put some time into Haven, because I want to play that one a lot. But as you can see, I have put 63 minutes into it, and about 60 of those were idling for cards. Domina is dog shit. Why the fuck is it up here? Like, I have been defending all of these ones so hard. Domina is broken. The developer's a fucking fascist. The fucking gameplay makes no sense. Like, it makes you sign up and basically be like, do you understand that this is a game and it's actually cool to be a state owner in it? Because of that. It's so fucking up its own ass. It's fucking absurd. The only good thing about it is its soundtrack, it's smart, and the composer of the soundtrack is also a fascist. So it's like, this is basically just like a Chud the video game. So I love like faux progressive fucking like outlets gave this like an 8 out of 10. I love to see all of them fucking being like, actually slave owning's pretty cool, right? Again, I know it's a game, but it's a game that's like about owning human beings, and that fucking is so like pleased with itself that it went that far, that it's basically just fucking like absolutely like gross. That aside, the Eternal Castle, really cool. I fuck with Eternal Castle. Korriban, come on, that's like a Game of the Year contender. Space Marine down here, the fuck? Space Marine is one of the actually good AAA games. It is, and I've played it more than this, because I played this on the 360 a few years ago. Space Marine is a fucking blast. Severed Steel, also the best first-person shooter of last year, by far. Why is it down here? That game is a fucking romp. It is so good. Stories, Path of Destinies. Again, I don't know how it launched, but the remastered version of it is just incredibly good. Party Hard 2 is up here. Why? Party Hard 2 is dog shit. Like, again, I don't like being rude about, like, games that people worked hard on. This game is broken. Like, I have walked up to a car, like, walked next to a car, and then it would fucking, like, I fell over and got knocked out, and then I got found as the part of it. It's busted. It is borked to shit. And I played this game like 2 or 3 years. No, like a year or 2 ago. Like somewhere in that time frame. They had plenty of time to patch it, and it's still an absolute mess. I want to love Party Hard, but Party Hard is too hard to like. And I don't mean that in terms of the difficulty, I mean a hard game to like. APICO, why is it down here? APICO is fucking, like, hilarious. Again, like, a lot of game journals as well, they basically equate scope with quality. A game that is minimalistic and nails that minimalism oftentimes will get like a 6 or a 7, because they're like, well, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, because that's like God of War. But, like, APICO nails what it's going for. There's no other game I like APICO other than APICO. In terms of gameplay, at least, and humor. So, you know, APICO deserves love. Let's see if there are any other ridiculous, like, underrates down here. Some of these are completely irrelevant too, just because the games have been completely overhauled since they got all of their reviews. Ruiner, what the fuck? Ruiner is like a blast. Right back to Armageddon. You run around as a fucking mech in that game and you blast shit. Again, one of the few good AAA games. New Saga is a art by Chinzel. Evans Remains. It falls apart at the end, like the very, very end, when it's basically like plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. But for the bulk of the game, it is just beautiful. Again, doesn't deserve to be down here. Chroma Squad? Why? Why is Chroma Squad down here? Chroma Squad is legit one of my favorite games. I don't think it's one of the best games. There's some layers of jank to it. But it's the only game you get to fucking, like, you know, manage a team of Power Rangers. Who doesn't want to do that? Coffee Talk? Why? Why is it down here? Carrion? Why? Black Book? Why? Armello? Why? Again, I'm not saying anything, because these are just like, it doesn't make any sense. Who is giving these like 6s out of 10s to drag them down? Spec Ops The Line? Spec Ops The Line got a... Okay. To all of the people who dragged Spec Ops The Line down, why? Why would you do that? That game is legitimately like one of the most important of all time. I do not think they understood this at the time, but legitimately it is one of the most important of all time. no other, not even game, no other work of art has fucking had the same, like, anti-imperialist, like, you know, fucking force of goddamn Spec Ops: The Line. What the fuck? This is legitimately one of the greatest games of all time. If you put it in your top 10, I would not fucking blink 1 second. If it's because the combat, that's the point. Do you listen to black metal albums and be like, wow, it's really rickety? No shit, that's the point. That's the idea. It's part of the charm. It's part of the point. You know, that's like getting mad that a hot dog is too fucking, you know, it's too much of a hot dog. Oh no. SteamWorld didn't apply. Legitimately don't understand that. Scorchbringer, the fucking has some of the best combat of any roguelike. Period. No, like, hands down, one of the best. Doesn't make sense. It's launched kind of for nowadays. Horizon Chase Turbo, one of the best racing games of all time. Who the fuck was giving this a 6 out of 10? Forest deserved better. One of years by far. Doesn't make any sense. Aegis Defenders is really good. Really good. Renegades by Reigns. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Also, Section 8. Rip to a god. And by rip, I mean you can actually still play it, you just have to get past games for Windows 11. Let's see. Aaliyah? I don't think Aaliyah is ever on here. The Darkness 2. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know some people don't like The Darkness 2. But come on, it's The Darkness 2. It's one of the greatest, like, comic book video game adaptations ever. Easily. Blasphemous also is... This is blasphemous here. Like, Jesus Christ. This is one of the, like, most artful Metroidvania games ever. Anyways, I'm tired of arguing. Yeah. I don't know why that is with the aesthetic. Also, I just realized that the chat box is below the window capture. My apologies. Yeah, I'm just kind of... I honestly don't like getting mad about review scores, which is why I ignore them. You know, I ignore them because it's like... And I don't ignore them in terms of I don't do them, and that I don't see the point of them. It's more so that a lot of the times I do not like the outlets who are giving these scores, and I do not like the disrespect towards the games a lot of the time that they are scoring like shit. And I think the static may also just be because sometimes I am just cracking my voice a little bit. Let me tweak the audio here. Chipcell does a lot of these on this playlist. It's kind of like the same 4 or 5 musicians for a lot of it, which I'm not complaining about, considering they're good musicians who do really nice work. But I don't know why there isn't a bit more variety in terms of the pool. Anyways, so this is my library or my collections page here. Now, a lot of these, you'll notice, are or showcases I want to do. That's not necessarily something where it's, you know, like I'm browsing it a lot. It's more just plans for work I want to do later down the road. Also, I cannot hear the song at all. And I've not heard a single note of it. So I do not know if it's actually working or not. But regardless, I could probably tweak this one. But I could also tweak this one as well, because I've already returned and done some of the slate. But I just like the customizability. You know, I really like the customizability of Steam. That's one of the cool things about it, by far. Okay, I've heard some notes of it. I'm not sure if that was audible before. Now, let me talk about the ones that actually deserve to be down a bit. Crawler, not very good. 911 operator, just very tedious. Blightbound may have improved. I can't say for certain, as I have not played it since it was in early access, when it was actually very bad. Let's see. And there, I just fixed that bit there while we were there. Dota Underlords is just kind of stomach churning to me. Genital jousting. I thought genital jousting was honestly really annoying. And as you can see, I've only played 5 minutes of it. 5 minutes too many, I would argue. So these are all the games that I do not have very high opinions of, at least from what I've played of them. You may disagree with some. Halo Infinite here is entirely because the multiplayer literally does not work. It is just completely fucking busted. The campaign for this game is actually really good, in my opinion. I actually really enjoyed the campaign of it. Domino, like I said, probably one of my least favorite games I have on Steam. I regret that I own it. If I could, I would sell my entire Steam library for $5 just to get rid of it and to get it out of my fucking face. Now, I could hide it, but I never hide my shame that I own this piece of shit. So it'll stay there. I'm also going to also Vanquish. Why the fuck? Anyways, I'm tired of this. Oh, Okami. Okami is bad. I'm sorry to say it in such an objective manner, but Okami is not a good game. I would argue it's actually a very bad one. Because the tutorial for it is terrible. Genuinely one of the worst tutorials that I've played. First of all, Issen is just a perv. Why the fuck do I want to play a game with Issen in it? I don't want to. Why would I? Second thing, the game just constantly fucking barrels down information on you that you've already figured out by then. Yeah, I know. I know there are ways to remove stuff from a library. You can hide it. I know you were probably typing that as I was going through my spiel about it. So I don't blame you for not seeing that, you know, right afterwards I was like, but I can never hide my shame for owning it. Also keeping in mind is the fact that I do share my library with a couple of my friends through the Steam library share. So I like having games even if I don't like the game myself, I like that I can share with someone else. So, you know, maybe they'll like it more than me, right? Also, please, Opus, Echo of Starsong, sweetie. We don't need 20,000 awards. I already know the game is well loved. That's why I bought it. It's not because and I'm just like, yeah, I know. I know you can do that. I just don't want to. And I was being facetious before when I was like, I'd sell my Steam library for $5. Just to get rid of it. Obviously, I would not do that. And I'll show you why I would not do that. And this is not me bragging or anything. It's just why I would not do something so foolish. Please bear with me, I'm going into Steam DB. While that's loading for 10 million years. Yeah, I would honestly just much prefer to talk about games that I like and feel that they deserve love, as opposed to getting mad that someone didn't like a game as much as I did. It's just when I look at that stuff, and it's like, I know that this can fuck up a developer's like income, especially when they are a solo dev. I'm like, bruh. Like, Metacritic may not matter to anyone watching right now, or anyone who may be watching later, but it still is something where it's like, it does have its effects, and I just dislike that. But I'm going to pull this up here. Bear with me. Oh yeah. Let me see. No. It's a fractal. Anyways. Here we go. This is why I would not do that. Like, that would be very foolish. But, anyways. Back to being disappointed in my life decisions in different ways, besides looking at a big number. Bugsnax, 10 out of 10 game. Most of my playtime has been on the Epic version, so don't look at that and be like, you think it's one of the best games ever with 4 minutes. Also, this is a Ubisoft game, so I try to avoid it. But I do want to give the developers their flowers, because they made a game that is, in terms of game design, inherently superior to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I would contend is a bad game. I don't like how this is placed, by the way. It sends my OCD into a fury. And again, some of these games are ones I don't actually have on Steam currently. At least not directly. See, this is how you're supposed to, you know, be respectful of games and their appeals. Again, this is also CD Projekt Red game, so I try not to be too fawning towards it. Yeah, grow, which I was mentioning earlier. I still can't believe Icken fell. Like, jeez. Hold on. Let me get this back over to being... There. I was trying to do inside. Yeah, that's good. And... Oh, also, this is definitely one of my favorite games so far this year, by far. Absolutely an incredible game. And yeah, this is definitely one of those games where I was getting at where it's a simple game, but it's just so well made. You know. I'm also gonna record some of that later. This game, by the way, deserves far better than what it's gotten. Sales. Radical Rabbit Stew, genuinely one of the best games of the year. Easily, hands down, without a doubt. Ravenous Devils, also one of the best games this year so far. You'd be surprised, by the way, how tiring talking a lot gets. Like, literally, like, you would think talking a lot means you're kind of energized, I guess. But personally speaking, I get tuckered out. Oh look, it's another Fractal. Also one of the best games of all time. Easily. Hands down. Without question. Stanley Parable fucking destroys, like, the vast majority of games. And also, like, other forms of media as well. Need I say more about Super Auto Pets? So yeah, I think that's a good look at my library. Here's a look at my profile, just because I think that's also got some stuff. I still can't believe I perfected that game, like, right after it came out. I basically fucking, like, shredded that. yeah, I've got to head off too. Like I said, I do plan on doing some more recordings later today. So, I'm probably just going to show off some of my most played games on Steam, which actually I can just do without going there and waiting for it to load all the way up. These are my most played games on Steam. Stray, a Con, Ageless. These three I didn't actually play that much. They were all idles for trading cards. So, same thing with a Renewar. Too Dark. But yeah, a lot of these American Fugitive, I didn't play that much. Party Hard 2, I did units, because again, it's not a very good game. Astro Duel, Flint Hook, I didn't play those ones that much either. But I did actually like Flint Hook. I would love to try Astro Duel, but I don't really have that many people I'd play it with. These two, didn't play either of them that much. Actually, basically this whole role except for placing these. And then these three, I obviously didn't play that much. These three I didn't play that much. System Shock, Tabletop, Playground, Strike Force Kitty, I didn't play these three. I've actually never touched any of them at all. Same thing with these three, and these two. I'd never played these two. Never played that one. Never played that one. Basically, what I'm saying is, I idle cards a lot. But, honestly, that's obviously not the most fun thing to talk about or look at. So, let's go. Yeah. This has definitely been a fun stream to do. Unfortunately, it was not as much APICO as I was intending. But I do want to give the game more time to grow. It's just not a game I want to stream, really. So, yeah, to anyone who was watching, I hope you have a good one. Thanks for joining in, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.